Hi, Eddie.
Hello.
I'm Christopher Gallardo with Pop Alternative. How are
Hello.
you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good myself. So, to get this started, this film generally feels like it's pulling its own Reservoir Dogs with its singular location, which also has a similar aesthetic to a film you previously did with the disappearance of Alice Creed. So, when you got the script for this film, what was the idea that really made you sign on to this film?
Well, I think we've lost our way in the UK, maybe the US as well, in that modern gangster movies are kind of wish fulfillment. Uh, Genres really, gangsters are kind of who we want to be. And we have a great tradition in the UK of movies like the Long Good Friday and Mona Lisa, where, in a sense, the characters are more vulnerable, they're more nuanced and more complex, like Bob Hoskins or Michael Caine. And what I loved about this movie was it was like an old-fashioned gangster movie with a very nuanced and vulnerable central character of Ronnie, interestingly, I kind of was inspired by Bob Hoskins to play, really. It was kind of an homage to Bob Hoskins.
I like that. I like that response because your character Ronnie is this old seasoned veteran of crime, but deep down he actually cares deeply for the other characters. And as you've played a mix of both good and bad characters, how did Ronnie's arc in this film stick with you?
Well, it was a very, very clear arc in many ways. He's a man who wants to change, who wants to transform his life, believes in redemption in many ways. And that's why he believes that he can save Royce and gives that great speech to Royce about not becoming him. But it's a film ultimately about men who are trapped in a house and they can't change.
So in a way, it also feels like even though he's empathetic and more stern, he also feels like there's this bit of Terry Donovan that actually rubs off on Ronnie, considering what they both have to face in their respective shows and films. So, do you think that playing Terry on Ray Donovan sort of influenced how you portrayed Ronnie's journey as well?
Well, it's very interesting because Terry and Ray Donovan is influenced a lot by me, really. I mean, the writers
Mhm.
would come down. I did that show for 9 years, 7 seasons in a movie. And so the writers would come down and write Terry based on my personality. So there's a lot of Terry and Ronnie that's in me, I think.
Mm,
I left school at 15 with no academic qualifications. I've always been kind of catching up with people academically. I've always been the most uneducated person in the rehearsal room throughout my career. And I find there's a similarity to Ronnie in that, but there's also a curiosity which I have. And yeah, so there's a lot in that in those two characters that's inherent in me.
mm. I like that because I like that you said that there's a bit of you in both Ronnie and Terry because looking back on the characters you played before and after Ray Donovan, do you think Terry's journey on that show pushed you to sort of embody more empathetic yet stern characters and roles?
No, I think I've always done it. The weird thing about Terry's is the first time that I've played someone that women liked. A lot of women like Terry, and that was weird. Usually, I'm playing the opposite of that. I thought they had a lot of sympathy for him. Really, he was a very empathetic character, and a sympathetic character. And it was great to play someone for that long. It was a very organic experience, actually. The whole process it wasn't very fixed. Every season was developing. I loved it. I had a wonderful time.
Mm, I love that. You had a great time working with Ray Donovan. And speaking about so many women loving Terry, you get to also work with Suki Waterhouse, which must have been fun for you. So, what was it like working with her? And were there any fun memories that you guys just shared in that single set?
Well, yeah, she's kind of about the similar age to my daughter, so
Oh,
there was a kind of similar chemistry there. I felt very paternal towards her, which is right
mm,
because of what Ronnie feels towards her. She did a great job. I mean, she plays a character that's kind of enigmatic, like an angel in many ways. So, and she did that so well. Yeah, I had great fun working with her.
I absolutely love that you had an awesome time with her. And speaking more on the moment you spoke about before with Ronnie, about the one moment where he's opening up, just felt really impactful in a way that sort of reminded me of sort of another character you played in Heartstopper, George. So how do you think those vulnerable moments between both of those characters really resonated with you for future roles and just experimenting and going all out with those vulnerable moments?
Well, human beings are vulnerable creatures. We all are. So our job as an
Mm,
actor is not to be self-conscious, it's to be honest about all aspects of our personality. And
mm,
vulnerability is one of them. So I just access that part of myself and then put it into the context of the character.
mm. I like that. I like that response. And sort of more on the action. Your fights with Sam were just really, really brutal. Like, and the fact that you have so much energy after the fact is actually astounding. Were there any specific challenges you had to face here, stunt-wise or coordination-wise? And were there any pointers that you got from Barnaby that really helped you with some of the more action-based scenes?
Well, they were very physically very hard for me to do because I'm about 20 years older than Sam. So I had a lot of painkillers afterwards because I
Mm,
was getting thrown about quite a bit. I'm not as young as I used to be. They were great. The violence is very good in a film because it's earned violence. It's kind of earned.
mm,
It's almost like an orchestration. There's certain notes building up to it, and it's a crescendo. I always felt that it wasn't gratuitous, that it was
mm,
character driven. The worst thing about violence in a movie is when a character stops and you just have a fight, then it's boring.
mm,
When the fight is infused with character, then it's just another form of communication. That's when it works.
mm. I really loved your explanation, and I really love how the fights with Sam were just really, really intense in those situations. And considering your work with so many action-based films, do you think you want to do more action-based films? Because your work with Guy Ritchie is impressive, and we've still got The Gentleman season two still in the works right now. So could you possibly appear in that? I don't know, maybe.
No, I don't think because I was in the movie. I don't think you can have a
Mm,
crossover really. Um, I don't know. I do anything really. My job is to be as diverse as possible and to appear in as many different movies as possible. Yeah, some of them will be action, some of them will be sitting on a couch and talking for 4 hours. It all depends really.
mm. That's well, the roles you have are like so diverse. And one role that I'm really excited to see you embody is in Clayface, because we know Clayface right now is currently filming. So what does it feel like for you to join the DCU with Mike, Tom, and Naomi? And is there anything that you can tease about your character?
Well, the director James is a great director, and Tom, the actor playing Clayface, is going to give a brilliant performance.
Mm,
He's wonderful to work with. That's all I can say at the moment.
well, I can't wait to see what you got cooking for Clayface. But Eddie, it's been a wonderful time talking with you, and I really hope that you have a wonderful day again. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.